All right, ready for another deep dive? Today, let's unlock the secrets of everyday conversations.
Sounds fun. I'm always up for that.
We've been looking at some guides on conversation starters, and honestly, there's some pretty insightful stuff in here.
Oh, I bet. You know me fascinated by this stuff.
Like, did you know even something as simple as smiling can make a huge difference?
Oh, absolutely. A genuine smile, even a little one, can totally change the entire tone of an interaction.
The guide was saying it's like this universal signal of warmth and approachability.
It makes total sense, right? Like if you see someone smiling, you instantly feel a bit more at ease.
Exactly. And speaking of putting out good vibes.compliments,
Ah, yes. A classic conversation booster.
the guide even gave examples like, hey, I love that shirt, or your hair looks great today. Super simple stuff, but
But so powerful.
yeah,
A little compliment can really brighten someone's day. It's like this little burst of positivity.
it's true. And you know what else really gets people talking?
Mhm. Let me guess. Asking questions.
Bingo. Especially about their passions.
Makes sense. People love to share what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
It's like an invitation to connect on a deeper level.
And everyone loves to talk about their favorite things, right?
Oh, for sure. Whether it's their favorite food or their latest hobby obsession, it's like opening a door to their world.
And just listening, really engaging with what they're saying, that builds a connection, right?
Absolutely. Active listening, nodding along, making those little comments like, oh, wow, or that's so interesting. It just shows you're genuinely interested.
It's like you're saying, hey, tell me more. I'm all ears.
Exactly. And that's where those truly engaging conversations begin.
Okay, but you know what always makes me nervous? Like when you want to join a group conversation that's already going strong.
Oh, yeah, that can be a little tricky. It's like, how do you jump in without interrupting the flow?
Exactly.
Well, this guide we've been looking at, it actually had some really good advice for that.
Really? I'm all
It
ears.
said the first step is, honestly, don't rush it. Like, don't just barge in,
Wait for a natural pause.
exactly. A change of topic, a little lull in the conversation, that's your opening.
So like read the room.
Yeah. And then when you see that opening, you need a good way to jump in. One trick the guide suggested was to agree with something someone just said.
Oh, that's a good one. Like, oh, I totally agree with you, Mark. Something like that.
Exactly. Or, I've been thinking the same thing. It shows you're engaged, you've been listening.
It connects you to the conversation that's already happening.
Exactly. Another good one they mentioned was to share a related story or experience.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, that reminds me of this one time.
It's like building a bridge from their conversation to yours.
I like it. So it's about observation, timing, and finding those little connection points.
Exactly. And, speaking of connection, one thing this guide really emphasized was keeping it real.
Oh, yeah. Authenticity over everything.
Like, forget trying to sound super smart or using big words you'd never use in real life.
It's just be yourself. People can spot a phony a mile away anyway.
For sure. The guide actually recommends using simple language, short sentences.
Get to the point.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So we've covered smiling, compliments, asking questions. We've even tackled the art of joining a group chat. But, it occurs to me, sometimes it feels like the setting of a conversation can make a difference too,
Oh, totally. Like, have you ever noticed how some places just seem to spark more interesting conversations than others?
100%. Like a cozy coffee shop always seems to get the conversational juices flowing.
Right. It's like the atmosphere itself is conducive to opening up and connecting.
And then there are those places that just kill a conversation before it even starts, like a stuffy office building or a super loud, crowded restaurant.
The worst. It's like the environment itself is working against you.
You can practically feel the conversation dying on the vine.
And sadly, it happens. So, yeah, environment definitely plays a role. Interesting thought.
So we're saying like the vibe of a place, it totally impacts the vibe of the conversation.
Right. It's like this invisible force shaping how we interact.
Totally. And you know what else I was thinking about? Like, what about the time of year? Could the seasons have a similar effect on our chats?
Interesting. I think there might be something to that.
Right. Like spring always feels so full of energy, new beginnings and all that.
Absolutely. Everything's coming back to life. The days are getting longer. People are out and about more.
Exactly. It's like that springtime energy just naturally spills over into our conversations.
I feel like people are definitely more chatty in the spring, more open to connecting.
Totally. And then there's summer, right? Summer is all about like relaxation and those long, lazy days.
Summer conversations definitely have a different vibe, more laid back, more spontaneous.
For sure. Like those chats that stretch late into the night, Summer's made for those.
And then we transition into autumn. The energy shifts again.
Oh, I love autumn. It's like everything gets cozier.
Right. Like the air gets crisper, the leaves start changing.
And suddenly you're craving a warm drink and a good conversation.
Exactly. It's like autumn invites a different kind of connection. More reflective, maybe a little more introspective.
Totally. And finally, we have winter.
Winter's interesting, right? Because for a lot of us, it's a time to slow down, hunker down a bit.
Yeah, it's like nature's telling us to take a break and recharge.
And I think our conversations reflect that. Like, we're more likely to have those deep heart-to-hearts around a fire, you know?
Totally. There's something about winter that makes you want to connect on a deeper level.
So, yeah, I think you're onto something. Just like we adjust to the changing seasons, maybe we subconsciously adjust our communication styles too.
It's wild, right? It's like this whole other layer of communication that we don't even realize is happening.
It's fascinating. And it just goes to show how interconnected we are with the world around us.
Totally. Wow, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from simple smiles to the magic of compliments to how the seasons themselves can shape our chats.
It's all about connection, right? Finding those moments of genuine interaction, no matter where we are or what time of year it is.
I love that. And you know what? I have a feeling our listeners have some thoughts on this too. So to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What's your favorite season for conversation and why? Let us know. We'll see you on our next deep dive.